Nick, I think maybe we can just get started first while people are streaming in. What do you think?
Yeah, sure.
Sure. Let's get started.
Sure, sounds great. Yeah, hi everyone. Thanks for joining us on this Twitter space. My name is Jayong. I work at partnerships at imToken. So, if you don't know yet, imToken wallet is a non-custodial wallet. We have been around since 2016, and currently we have about 15 million user devices that use the imToken wallet app. And recently we have supported the ERC 4527 standard to basically ensure that your to meet the user's security needs. So that's how we kind of like got in touch with AirGap, today's guest on this Twitter space. And today we are very happy to invite Nick from AirGap to basically talk about how can we kind of like work together to improve your asset security. For Nick to also share more about AirGap and what is different about AirGap as compared to the other services out there. So I think without further ado, maybe let's welcome Nick. And Nick, maybe to get started, could you share a bit about yourself, a bit about AirGap, and also maybe how you got into the crypto space?
Yes, sure, absolutely. First of all, thank you for having me. Real pleasure to be on this Twitter space and being able to do this integration with you together. So my name is Nick, as mentioned before. I'm one of the co-founders at Papers. That's a company which is behind AirGap. And to describe really quickly what AirGap is and how it works and so on. So AirGap is a Swiss cold wallet solution that basically lets you turn a spare smartphone into a secure cold wallet. The solution is fully open source since day one, and is also completely free to use for everybody. We developed the solution, AirGap, back in 2017, when we got started getting involved in the Web3 space in total. And our team has a strong background in mobile security, and back then in 2017, we were searching for an accessible cold wallet solution that has great usability. So back then we looked into the solutions which were on the market, like Ledger and Trezor, and we were not fully satisfied because apart from being quite expensive and a bit clunky to use, like tiny screen and tiny buttons, they also used cables to communicate with the hot wallet, which is not truly air-gapped, which means there is a physical connection between the cold wallet and the hot wallet, which is connected to the internet, which is not really optimal from our point of view. And therefore, we already back then decided to go with transparent QR code scanning, which makes it completely air-gapped. Like no physical connection between the two devices, hence also the name AirGap for the solution. The solution originally consisted of two applications, the AirGap Vault, which is installed on a dedicated offline device, so that's the cold wallet, and the AirGap Wallet, which is our companion app. The watch-only wallet that shows you the balance and initiates transactions. However, back in 2022, we opened up our solution to other watch wallets, like MetaMask, Blue Wallet, and so on. And since recently, imToken. So I think that explains where we're coming from and how our solution roughly works.
Fantastic. Thanks for the really comprehensive introduction. I think I kind of like agree with you on this as well. So for myself, I started in the crypto space in 2018, and back then, like what I mentioned, I guess the only kind of solutions for hardware wallet were kind of Ledger and Trezor, and yeah, I think I did find it a bit kind of like clunky as well to kind of use, and yeah, it's a bit counterintuitive, right? Like what I mentioned, to connect the the cold wallet to the hot wallet. So yeah, thanks for the introduction. So before I get to my next question, so I think just want to share a bit about how this AMA will flow. So basically, I will ask Nick here. I think about a couple of questions that I find a bit interesting for iGap, and then after that, we'll do that about half an hour, and after that, for the last 15 minutes, we will probably have questions from you guys to ask Nick. So if you haven't done so yet, please comment your questions in the tweet for this AMA. So AirGap has very graciously will be giving out 2 metal plates and 1 AirGap Knox as well for this giveaway. So whichever questions we pick from that tweet, I think we will just arrange for the giveaway out of the pool of people that we asked. So yeah, you have not done so, please comment your questions in the AMA tweet. Okay, so now that we have an introduction on AirGap, maybe I'd just like to ask Nick, especially for to help the people that are not that familiar with kind of crypto security, right? So why is storing the private keys offline so important for asset security?
So basically, if you lose your seed phrase or if it gets compromised, you risk losing access to all your assets permanently. So when you normally set up a wallet, you get this 12 or 24 words, and you really have to store them securely. It's like sort of like a password for all your funds. Now, we have learned, like generally, our society has learned over the last couple of years that storing or like everything on the internet can be hacked. No matter how secure the software is, when it's connected to the internet, there is like a gate for potential attacks. So you have to make sure that you, how shall I say that, like the only way to protect yourself from hackers and such attacks is to go to the offline world, where you store it completely offline, no connection to the internet, so nobody can reach it. And this way you can avoid like man-in-the-middle attacks, key loggers and screen recorders, and so on and so forth. So always remember, like crypto in general gives you, how shall I say that, gives you, now I'm blanking on that quote, gives you great responsibility. Like you have quite a lot of power, but at the same time it gives you great power, pardon me. It gives you great power, but with this great power comes also great responsibility, and meaning that you have to make sure that this password is saved and nobody can access it. Because in the crypto world, it's not like a bank where you can call them and ask them for a new PIN or something like that. It's your own responsibility to store it securely and safely. I hope that answers your question.
Yes, for sure. Thanks for the answer, and maybe just a follow up kind of stupid question, I guess, that maybe people like myself have, right? So you said that for sure, private keys are kind of like the password, and that's why it's so important to keep it offline. So what is the difference between me, let's say, writing down my password on a piece of paper and that my private key in a piece of paper, as compared to the solution that AirGap is providing for us regarding this?
Sure, yeah. So of course you could basically write it down on a piece of paper, but then the difficulty is how you manage it and so on. Like you need to make use of that of those 12 words, and for that you need a way how you can you need a piece of software to sign a transaction. So yeah, if you just would take this seed phrase and enter it into a wallet which is completely connected to the internet, there is the threat that this seed phrase gets leaked. So our solution is providing like a full set of storing and managing your seed phrase, and also is able to communicate with a hot wallet. So that is like the communication is the key factor.
Sorry, I forgot I was on mute. Yeah, thanks for sharing that. I think yeah, it's really really very important. I think maybe we can kind of get to the next question that I had for you. So I mean, just curious, right? For yourself, you guys are in the, I mean, you got your selling point is really to keep users' assets safe, right? So, on from personally, right? Have you heard any stories, right, where user assets were kind of like stolen despite applying the best security practices?
So we never had we never heard a story from an AirGap users. So none of their funds have ever been stolen or so whatsoever. So I'm quite pretty happy about that for sure. But there are multiple stories out there of like quite a recent one, which was the MilkSat vulnerability that happened, I think, this summer. And there was a faulty key generation mechanism allowing the private key to be guessed by attackers. And there have been some other attacks or vulnerabilities, like back in I think 2021. The addresses of people who have purchased a certain cold wallet, their addresses got, like home addresses got leaked, and there have been a few stories around where people then, like their local criminals, knocked at their door knowing that they have a cold wallet and knowing that they have some crypto funds. So in the case of AirGap, this could not be possible because we don't ship our solution via postal or something like that. We only distribute our solution either via the Google Play Store, the App Store, or via GitHub. So people can anonymously download the AirGap solution.
Got it. Thanks for sharing that. So you mentioned previously that one of the project was hacked because the hackers who basically guessed the private key or the seed phrase, right? So I think our AirGap is solving this issue of basically making sure that the private keys and the seed phrase are truly random, using your kind of coin flip and dice roll entropy. So maybe you could share a bit about why this seed phrase randomness is a real problem, and why users should care about this issue, and how AirGap is solving this issue.
Yes, for sure. So most cold wallets, they normally make use of a so-called random number generator chip, or short RNG. And there are certain concerns that some how do you call it? Some people have mingled with the creation of those chips, or some governments have mingled with the creation of those chips. So people do not fully trust these RNG attacks. And we actually have like two ways how you can mitigate or overcome the issue of solely relying on the RNG chip. So the first one is we have coin flips and dice roll entropy collection, which means you take, like, you open up our solution, you take a coin or a dice and you roll it 100 times and enter this information into into the device or into our application. So this mitigates that you make use of the RNG chip. And the other thing is, like, theoretically, you could just enter it yourself, but humans in general are not so good with adding random, like being random. Like, we have like a tendency to pick certain numbers more often than others, and therefore it's a bit frightening. So you just take a dice, roll it 99 times, and our solution then generates a secure seed phrase out of this. And since the RNG chip is no longer involved when we create the secret recovery phrase or the seed phrase, the associated risks are no longer an issue. It also solves the challenge of not trusting a software, because the secret recovery phrase created from the coin flip or dice roll input is deterministic. As a result, a different wallet or software can confirm that the same input will always yield the proper output. The user can be confident that the secret he created on the AirGap was generated randomly and has not been tampered with.
Yeah, thanks for the answer. I think for sure a lot of people, they are not really maybe familiar with the need for randomness, right? And that's for sure quite frightening, especially with things like machine learning, AI coming kind of like becoming more mainstream and growing very quickly. I think the problem of like hackers being able to guess your seed phrase is for sure quite real, especially in the future. So maybe I'll
Yeah,
just yeah, go ahead. Yeah,
totally. Maybe one thing I would like to add on top of that.
sure.
So, like using like a dice or flipping a coin multiple times is a bit cumbersome for some people who want to have like create a seed phrase. We also have another way how you can create a seed phrase, which is the secret seed phrase generator, which makes use of the random generator chip, but adds additional randomness on top of that by using different entropies such as touch, audio, your video camera, or the gyroscope of your phone. So when you're setting it up, you have to take like 10 seconds or 20 seconds and move your phone a bit around, make use of the microphone and the camera, and then it adds this randomness on top of the number string that has been generated by the chip.
Yeah, got it. Yeah. For sure, even though it's cumbersome, I think really, this randomness is really important for security. And yeah, let me ask maybe one last one or two questions. Then maybe we can kind of open the floor. I think. So I think Nick, maybe you could share more a bit about what is the ERC 4527 standard, and why did you guys support it? Because I think that's kind of how we kind of got in touch with you guys.
Sure. Yeah. So actually, we built together with MetaMask and Keystone this standard, and we, like, back in 2022, I think it was beginning of 22, we started to saw the need of such a standard, since people started to realize how great QR code communication is. It's like transparent, secure, and very easy to use. So no cables required or whatsoever. And on top of that, like, we wanted to have that because we wanted to open up our solution to more people. And maybe you remember at the beginning, I explained how AirGap was initially set up. Like, we had the AirGap Vault, which is the cold wallet, and the AirGap Wallet, which was our companion app, like the where you can see the balance and initiate transactions. And we wanted to give the people giving them more possibilities to interact with our core solution, which is the AirGap Vault. And through that, we now were able to integrate with multiple other wallets, and also with imToken, which makes us extremely excited, because like people have preferences. Like they started with imToken and understand how the solution works, and love the great usability and so on and so forth. And they don't want to switch to a completely different wallet. So we give them the opportunity to keep their wallet how they have it, and they know how to handle it, and at the same time adding a new step of security on top of that via the AirGap Vault.
Yeah, thanks, Nick, for the answer. So maybe I'll just add in a little bit about this ERC 4527. So basically imToken, because I think like what Nick mentioned, right? I think imToken is kind of like the first wallet for many users, and for sure.
This space was downloaded via spacesdown.com. Visit to download your spaces today.
It's a bit cumbersome to switch to kind of like another different wallet. So for us, we for sure we value security quite a lot. That's why recently as well, imToken has supported this ERC 4527 standard, and we have already supported Rabi and Keystone as well. So basically, what this means for you is that you can basically connect to other wallets in offline mode, right? You can connect with Rabi, you can connect with AirGap, and with a Keystone in the offline mode, and then this is done via QR code. So basically the transactions and the information is transmitted via QR code, and yeah, this for sure a very secure way of carrying out your transactions. Yeah, so I think maybe I'll just ask one last question to Nick, then maybe we can pick out a couple of questions from the community. So yeah, Nick, is there anything that you would like to share with our community about your future plans, or I guess how are you guys really different from or how you guys like to position yourself against your competitors?
Yeah, sure. So that's a really good question. So how do we differentiate ourselves from other competitors? I think one of the major points is definitely that we are completely free to use, and that we are fully open source. So that's number one. We give the people the possibility to upcycle a device that they maybe have in their drawer that they no longer use, and turn it into a cold wallet. Like, we have become probably the most accessible wallet out there, and we try to keep it this way. Like, this is giving, like, the thing is, wherever you are in the world, you can always get your hands on a smartphone. It doesn't matter where you are, a smartphone is always available. So we try to keep pushing on that. First of all, with translation, so making our solution more available in different languages. That's one thing. The other thing is, we recently have restructured our solution a bit, and we have introduced isolated modules, which means that each integration, like whether it's Bitcoin, Ethereum, and so on and so forth, is now per design isolated from another chain. So to add more security on top of our existing feature set, and with in addition to that, it also gives space for users to create their own module. So let's say at the moment we support a handful of chains, but if you can't find the one that you really love, let's say Monero or Zcash or whatsoever, you can actually create it yourself and then sideload it into the AirGap vault. This means, so we actually try to reach a broader audience, not only in the, well, mostly in the technical field, but our solution has been redesigned also visually. We make it more accessible for people and try to, how shall I say that? Not make it extremely accessible, like easy to use, easy to find out how things work, and so on and so forth. So yeah, I hope that describes it well. Maybe I have lost the thread a tiny bit.
No, all good, all good. I think, yeah, maybe just to summarize, I think it's really more of ease of use and of course, not compromising on security as well. If you, yeah, let me paraphrase for you a little bit. Yeah, sorry.
Yes, absolutely. Maybe one thing I have forgotten to mention, like we are focusing also on people that, of course, are very security aware. Like we have integrated a multitude of security features over the last couple of years. So when we are really compatible with other cold wallet solutions out there, we have like giving the user multiple possibilities to like store their funds extremely securely. Like we have the social recovery, what's it, social recovery, which means you can split your mnemonic into multiple pieces and give it to other people. So you can spread your seed phrase to people which you trust, but each individual receiver is not able to make use of that small seed phrase that they have received. Meaning, like it's like we have a huge list of security features that we have integrated, and it's like at the beginning when we created AirGap, we added one security feature after the other, and at the beginning we kind of forgot to advertise it and to teach people what it means and how great it is. And over the last, let's say, 2 years or so, we try to make those feature sets more visible by like creating more content, like blogs and so on and so forth, but also video. And we have seen that people really appreciate that. Like we are moving, we tried with that to integrate more people that didn't know that such a solution exists or that such a feature existed before.
Absolutely, absolutely. Sounds great. Maybe Nick, maybe if you don't mind, maybe we can just get to the questions asked by the community. So,
sure.
Would you like to select the questions, or if you don't mind, maybe I can be the one selecting questions for you. Then you just answer them. Would that be okay?
Yeah, please. You can choose them. You can choose them. Yeah.
Okay, sure. Let me see. Okay. Maybe I'll just ask this question from Serious Orange. So he's asking, can you kind of like briefly explain the difference between kind of like AirGap and other hardware wallets? And maybe a brief summary of, I think you did mention this, but you can share again, like how what do you call that? AirGap actually generates the seed phrase.
Like how it generates the seed phrase, you mean?
Yeah, correct. So I think so there are
Mhm.
two parts. I think firstly is how is AirGap different from other hardware wallets, and then yeah, how does AirGap kind of generate the seed phrase for the user?
Sure. Okay. So the major difference between AirGap and other hardware wallets is that with AirGap, you can basically turn a spare smartphone, whether it's an Android or a iOS device, you can turn it into a cold wallet. That's most and so you do not require or have to order an extra device from Ledger or Trezor or whomever. So you can actually just take something that you have lying around or that you can get your hands on very, very easily. So that's number one. Number two is that AirGap is completely open source. Not all of the cold wallets out there are completely open source. And then in addition to that, with most cold wallets, you're limited in how many seed phrases you can create and manage. For most of them, you can only manage one single seed phrase. Some others, you can manage 2 or 3. With the AirGap Vault, you can manage as many as you want. So there's no limitation. Maybe I think there's a limitation like 900 or something like that. I have to ask my developer friend. But you can really have as many as you want or need. And on top of that, AirGap is completely free to use. So we don't charge you anything. And yeah, I think that's roughly it. Like I don't want to have like an hour-long speech. There's a lot of features which you cannot find on other cold wallet solutions out there. But in regards of how the seed phrase gets created on AirGap, that's quite a technical question. I myself, I'm not a developer, so it's a bit difficult for me to answer. Maybe we will DM you with or we can actually answer the specifics on Twitter directly underneath your comment.
Sure, sounds great. Sounds great. I have one more question from the comment section. So this question is from Carl. So do you have plan to support non-EVM chains like Solana or BTC? And moreover, can you support NFT assets?
So we have actually quite a handful. So we do not only support Ethereum and ERC20 tokens. We support BTC, of course, like Bitcoin. We support other chains like what do we have? Like Eternity, Tezos, Coreum, and quite a lot of others like. Polkadot, for example. So we are not only limited to EVM chains.
Got it. How about the NFT? I think there was one of the.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I forgot about that. So currently, we only support NFTs on Tezos. Yeah, we are a bit limited there.
Got it. Thanks for sharing. I'll ask one more question from the comment section, and then maybe we'll just open up the floor completely for the people that requested to speak. So I think let me see. So I think I'll rephrase a bit of this question because it's about product differentiation as well. But this question is from Gu Chinese. So I would just like to ask, maybe I'll just paraphrase his question a little bit. What, like, if there's one kind of like competitive advantage of AirGap wallet, right? What would you say is the one that the users will usually speak of? You can only choose one product differentiation of AirGap.
Oh, okay, that's difficult. Like, what was it? One specific feature, or was it one specific? Wait, I'm trying to find the question. Or can you repeat the question again so I can answer it correctly?
Sure. So I think when people talk about AirGap wallet, like which the most useful feature do you think they usually speak about when they share it with their friends?
Like, to boil it down to only one, I think it really depends on the person, of course, and how they interact in the Web3 space. I believe one of the most overseen feature that AirGap has is the possibility that you can manage and store multiple seed phrases in one device. I think that's quite a powerful thing. But maybe others, if I may, would say that it's completely free and that I can get my hands on it immediately without paying a penny for it.
Got it. Thanks for sharing. Yeah, I think let me kind of open up the floor and let people on this space speak. So let me see if I can approve someone first. Or maybe Kapil, could you help me to approve one of the person that requested to speak?
Morning. Good afternoon. Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah. Good afternoon. How are you doing? Yeah.
Yeah,
doing
good,
fine.
thank you.
Doing fine.
Yes. Yes. I just have a series of questions concerning this security topic that you're talking about. Yes, I'll be one of the
pretty much about technologies around AirGap and how you intend to secure the community. Yeah. So I learned you mentioned earlier that the algorithm is open source. That is, I want to know to what degree is the entropy for generating the randomness? How to what degree? And I would like to know if there are resources where I can look into the Bitcoin improvement proposal being used under the hood. Yeah, so these are the questions I think I will need you to answer. So to what degree is this algorithm for generating entropy? How to what degree is this algorithm? Then secondly, the resources to learn about the Bitcoin improvement proposal being used by AirGap.
So you can find, so regarding the entropy collection stuff and the seed phrase generation, this is completely open source. You can find it on GitHub. Just search for AirGap lower line. I don't know what's it called in English, IT. So just go to GitHub, search for AirGap, and you will find it immediately. Otherwise, head over to our website, which is AirGap.it, and there you find all the necessary information. Regarding your second question about the Bitcoin proposal, can you explain again what exactly is your question there?
Oh, I think he's. Let me make him a speaker. Hold on.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, can I go ahead now?
Yes.
Sorry.
Yes, I can
One
hear
more.
you.
I think it's okay. Maybe we just move on to the next question. I think he kind of dropped off. Yeah. I think Young Savior, do you have a question?
Yes. Yes. What I was asking earlier is that I've been one of the imToken users since like 2019. So, and the security has been good. So in terms of getting pinch and other stuffs, though my wallet has not been hacked, you understand, but I have several wallets that have been hacked. So my question is that what benefit is the IGO will bring into imToken platform? Is there any kind of, because now that I'm saying that my imToken has not been hacked, I don't know, maybe some other people imToken has been hacked. Is it that there will be a kind of benefit that the new AirGap we bring to the imToken platform in terms of not selling our privacy, because there are a lot of platform that just sell the community privacy into to some other people. So, and you know, privacy is very important in any kind of systems. So that's it. And now is it that this will bring a more like imToken and AirGap collaboration now together? Is it that it will bring another new implementation into the system? So thank you.
So to simplify it by a bit, so what the integrating AirGap together with imToken, this gives you an additional security layer on top of the one that you already have from imToken. So if you just want to be one level more secure, the AirGap Vault is a way, or storing your funds, or creating your seed phrase with a cold wallet like ours is the way to go. So it's like an additional security step. And you always have to think with security, you take it serious. You take security serious where after something happened to you, right, or something has happened. So we give you or the AirGap solution gives you the possibility to back up yourself right now from any sort of attacks. Is an additional layer of security, basically. And in regards of the privacy, we do not collect like data about you or something like that. As mentioned before, our solution can be downloaded in different ways, either from the app stores like Google Play Store, Apple, the App Store, and also from GitHub. So from GitHub, for example, you can anonymously download our solution, sideload it to an offline device, and then nobody knows that you have downloaded the AirGap Vault. So yeah, and since it's offline, nothing gets out, right? I hope that answers your question. Cool to hear that you have been a long time user of imToken.
Yeah, thanks for the answer, Nick. I think it's quite comprehensive. So maybe I'll just let one more person speak. Maybe this can be the last question then we will kind of like call this session a day. How do I make him a speaker? Hold on.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Hi. Yes, I can.
Hi there. Yeah.
Okay. So I just ask you a question that, so if I have some other hardware wallet, will you persuade me to change it? Because will you recommend me that AirGap hardware wallet to instead what I have now? This is my question. Because everyone cares too much about their access safety. Everyone wants to find a most safe wallet. So if I have some other hardware wallet, will you persuade me to have an AirGap hardware wallet instead? Thank you.
Yes, of course, I would recommend you to switch to AirGap. But of course, what is always the most important thing is that you do your own research and go into depth what you need and what those solutions are offering. I think it has a lot to do with like choosing the perfect cold wallet has a lot to do with trust, and we try to achieve that with being fully open sourced. So I recommend you, and like our solution has also been audited and is up and running since 2017 without anybody being hacked. Like what I would recommend you to do is check out our code and assure yourself what we have to offer, and also look into our comparison. How do you call it? The comparison lists where you can see what features we have and so on and so forth. I myself, I store all my funds with the AirGap Vault, and I think it's the easiest way to handle it. And also, one thing that maybe gets a bit overlooked is, depending on where you live, people are quite aware how a hardware wallet looks like. So, and the benefit of our solution is that it can be installed on an everyday smartphone, maybe an old smartphone that you have, like an older smartphone that maybe has a bit of a cracked screen or whatever. And so this is not really suspicious. So if you have an intruder that comes into your apartment and finds a ledger, he for sure will confront you and ask you for your PIN and so on and so forth. But they would not care about like an old phone lying around in the corner, right? So I encourage you to look into the source code, maybe also join us our Telegram and ask other people what their experience is. And yeah, like I would recommend it, but of course at the end you have to decide on that.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for your answer.
Thanks, Chai, for the question, and Nick for the answer. I think yeah, it has been quite a pretty informative Twitter Spaces session. So I think we for sure learned a lot from Nick and AirGap as well. So yeah, I think let's maybe close this session. And before we close the session, I'd just like to share that for the giveaway, we will select from the pool of questions that we ask from the comment section, and also from the people that ask live on the Twitter space as well. And we will select three winners to basically win two metal plates and then one AirGap Knox as well. And yeah, we will send over the names to AirGap to handle the logistics and distribution. Is that okay with you, Nick? We will select the winners and then you guys
Yeah. Absolutely. So maybe just one small thing regarding the AirGap Knox. So the AirGap Knox is the premium version of AirGap, of the AirGap Vault. It has like an additional layer of security on top of it. It's an easier way of installment and making sure that it makes sure that the device never can touch the internet ever again. So it's just that you don't get confused why or what exactly it is. And generally, good luck to all of you. Thank you very much for all the questions. And yeah, if you're interested, just hit us up on Twitter or Telegram or wherever. We are happy to answer all your questions.
Thanks, Nick, and thank you everyone for attending the call. So I think yeah, we will end this Twitter Spaces for now. Yeah, thank you for your time.
Thank you. Have a nice one. Cheers. Bye bye.
Bye bye.